Hauser stood at the edge of the crowded airport, gripping his cello case as if it were the last familiar thing in the world. The loud announcements, rushing travelers, and flashing departure boards made his heart race. This was his first journey abroad, and everything felt bigger, faster, and more uncertain than he had imagined. Back home, people knew him as a talented young cellist, but here, he was just another nervous traveler with a dream packed inside a wooden case. As he waited to board his flight to Europe, Hauser noticed the curious looks. Some people smiled kindly, others whispered, and a few stared at the cello as if it were an inconvenience rather than an instrument. One airport officer even asked, "Are you sure that thing can fly?" Hauser forced a small smile and nodded, though doubt crept into his chest. What if he didn't belong out there in the world? What if his music wasn't strong enough? The flight was long and restless. Hauser barely slept, replaying melodies in his head and imagining the foreign streets he would soon walk. When the plane finally landed, the cold air hit his face like a challenge. Different language, different faces, different rules. Everything reminded him that he was far from home. At the baggage claim, his heart dropped. Suitcases kept circling, but his cello case did not appear. Panic tightened his throat. That cello was not just wood and strings. It was his voice. Without it, he felt invisible. After hours of paperwork and apologies from airport staff, Hauser walked out into the city with empty hands and a heavy heart. The streets were beautiful, glowing with evening lights, but he felt completely lost. As he sat on a bench near a quiet square, Hauser closed his eyes and remembered his teacher's words. Music lives inside you, not inside the instrument. Inspired, he borrowed a small, old cello from a street musician nearby who had noticed his sadness. With trembling hands, Hauser began to play. The sound wasn't perfect, but it was honest. The melody floated through the square, soft at first, then stronger. People slowed down. A few stopped. Then more gathered. The music crossed language barriers, touching hearts that had never known Hauser before. When he finished, the crowd applauded. And for the first time that day, Hauser smiled. The next morning, the airport called. His cello had been found. But something inside Hauser had already changed. His first journey abroad taught him that courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward anyway. Holding his cello again, Hauser stepped into the world, ready to let his music travel even farther than he ever had.